Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bang with Mikey, episode 145. And I got some great news. Let me flip my camera around real quick so y'all can see it. See that? That's my vocals for the last track on the live album. The album itself is gonna be a little shorter, simply because I've been taking so long to just produce this project and everything, and just get everything ready, get everything situated. But I'm having some good coffee. With that being said, the live album is complete. I will upload it to DistroKid, and y'all can hear my music. I know I don't sound super excited, but deep down inside I am, because this project, man, is it's a combination of a lot of things. It chronicles my upbringing, the shit I went through, and ironically, I started this album like 2 years ago, and the concept of this album was completely different than what it ended up being. Originally it was centered around one person, and that one person, what happened at that particular time, she was my best friend, and there was a lot of tracks on that album where where it was not about her but directed towards her, and none of it was bad. But as I grew in my production, my lyricism, and my overall exposure in the field, I realized, like, yo, you can't make an album particularly about one girl. I mean, you can, but why would you? And the concept of life, the life album was always that. It's about growing, it's about maturing, it's about changing, it's about going through things and and different trials and tribulations. And the biggest thing on that album is probably gonna be October 26th. When you guys listen to that track, it's gonna be see, I get emotional just thinking about it. It's that particular track sets the tone for the whole album. That that track is it's a heartfelt track, and it's something that me at that particular time and age, I was 23 turning 24, and I'm always reminded of that day, because that was the day my dad died. And I remember sitting in this very room, staring at the ceiling. I was flunking out of school. I was, it was a crazy time, academically, my grades wasn't the greatest. Nobody really knew what was going on except maybe a few close friends. Everybody, of course, found out later when my mom made the announcement, and published things in the paper, that type of shit, right? I just remember it feeling really, really weird. Like, that day felt like a dream, like he was gonna pop up and be like, surprise, what I mean? And like my brain didn't want to accept the fact that he was gone, you know. And so with that particular track, I think I ended it by saying, I rap on the track. I say, losing you to cancer was something I never was really ready for. So now I gotta navigate life, through the pitfalls and everything else without you, and it it's really strange, because even 11 years later, it's difficult for me to talk about, It's and the track on another track that's pretty heartfelt too is a track called Roses, and that particular track, so when you guys hear it, and everything, it's gonna be my best possible work. I'm not gonna say that I'm like a Nas, Jay-Z, Pop, whatever it is, because I'm not. I'm more of a J. Cole slash Logic type of dude. You know what I mean? Conscious. You know. And but anyway, man, what we gonna talk about today? Because we're about 6 minutes in. Is relationships, romantic, platonic, whatever it is, marriages, whatever it is. First things first, I'm no marriage counselor. I don't aspire to be a marriage counselor. I don't, the things I talk in here is basically just me spitballing. And what I find is like a lot of people my age and younger, they're married to individuals that no longer serve them. I think a lot of people are scared to leave those said situations because it's difficult to do that. To leave something that you help build and everything, and help help the person go through hardships, whatever it is, and you was always there, right? And I think it's really hard for you to navigate something into the unknown, whether it's divorce or breakup, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's really important that you understand that it's not you, it's not your fault that shit didn't work out. Some things just fizzle and they just die. And I have this saying that you have to leave nouns where they're at, meaning people, places, and things. Like you can't take everything with you. You can't take everybody with you, and some things you just gotta leave behind. I was talking to this person that I know, like-minded individual, and we was talking about past situations. And I said, yeah, you know what? And I sent her a screenshot of a particular conversation I was having. And with this individual, many, probably about a year ago or so. Well, now about a year ago. And she goes on interesting. It's funny how she said she was willing to repair the situation if only you took the blame for it. And I was like, yeah. And sometimes you just have to leave things, leave people where they at, because it's like if you can't take self accountability in the situation. And I'm not saying that you got to be the bad dude, whatever it is, but just recognize what you did. Recognize your role in the situation. And I'm not saying I'm a saint, because I'm not. Far from it. And I think that's important to realize that, like everybody has some growing, some maturity to do and everything, because you can't go through life just being the same fucked up individual. I'm not the same person I was at 18, versus 23, 28, and now born to be 35, right? Yeah, I'm not the same cat. And I think once you figure that out, and once you figure out, where you're at and everything, it's important for you to grow and mature. A lot of people just grow older. My dad told me something at 19, and I'll never ever forget it. He said, there are two types of people in this world: those who grow older with wisdom, and those who just grow older. He said, going forward, you got to choose who you want to be, man. You want to grow older, or do you want to grow older with wisdom? And he asked me, what do you think that means? I said, people who grow older with wisdom means they learn from their mistakes. People who just grow older commit the same dumbass, make the same dumbass decisions all the time. He's like exactly, because it was true. And as I get older, I realize that, man, a lot of people just be getting older. they're not getting wise, or they're not taking accountability for their actions or lack thereof. The one thing about me is that I'm never gonna sit here and say, somebody should do this or do that, boom, 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 boom. If you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Whether that's get a new job, move across the island, move to a different island, move to another state. I'm a big component of doing that, moving to another state, because now you're forced to grow, you're forced to be uncomfortable, you're forced to, you're forced to, you know, you're forced to understand yourself in a better way, because when you leave your comfort zone, when you leave your home state, whatever it is, you have nobody to depend on but yourself. So that creates independence, that creates independence in the situation, because you can't call your mom or your brother or your dad or your mom and be like, hey, can you loan me X amount of money, this and this and that? Because majority of the time, chances are they ain't got it. They don't have it. And I think once you figure that out, and once you figure out that you can only depend on yourself, that's where you grow. When I first moved to California and everything kind of just fell apart, I actually was gonna move to Denver before I moved back home. And one of my good friends, older cat too, I always came to him for advice. Black men in general, we always bounce ideas off each other. And he asked me, like, hey man, like, what's the one thing that you learned while living in Cali? I was like, you can't depend on nobody but yourself. Of course, people are gonna be there to give you a helping hand or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you can't depend on nobody but yourself, because you all you got. And a lot of people are afraid to do that. I've seen people pass up career-changing jobs, more money and more availability and whatnot too, and it's like they're just afraid to do it. Or they ask other people, what they should do with their life, and I'm like, what the fuck you asking them for? They're not the one living it. You know what I mean? It's like I've always felt that was weird. You're asking somebody else who doesn't live the same lifestyle you do, who doesn't have the same ambitions you do, what you should do with yours. Does that make any sense to you guys? Make any sense to you guys? It doesn't. Oh, why would it? I've always thought that was, that was a trait of a weak-minded person. Asking somebody else what you should do with your life. Like, they hold all the fucking answers for that, right? And I don't know, I just really thought that was strange. Oh, excuse me. And I think at the end of the day, not only that, if you're scared to fail, that means you don't even want to try. I was having a conversation with a young cat. We was talking about bodybuilding. And I said, man, it's like, if you want to get better at it, just go to the fucking gym. Like, go to the gym after work one day and just go work out. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, go work out. And I said, and he trains at 24s. And I said, yo, he's like, like, go one day and your day off from work and go get a fitness orientation in. And they're going to show you how to use the machines and everything too. And that way, when you go to the gym by yourself, you kind of know what you're doing, instead of just, hopping on the treadmill for an hour or whatever it is and just doing that. And I said, yeah, man. And I simply said, like, yo, you can either have excuses or have results. You can't have both. So if you want results, go to the gym and just work out. Or, like, have a buddy with you who's trained, or like, who knows what they're doing, in terms of working out or whatever, and have them show you the ropes, you know, and never be afraid to fail, because that's how you can learn. People who fail to me, they learn so much more than people who don't fail. Um, I once had somebody tell me, well, I've never failed at anything. That means you never learned. That means you were so comfortable in your comfort zone that you never stepped out and figured, okay, if I do it this way, what's going to happen? You know, I'm not saying, obviously, it's like you shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't have that mindset towards everything. But, you know, for things of whether it's trying to learn a new skill or trying to get better, whether it's weight training, music production, whatever it is, everything you do the first time is going to suck. You know, and that's what it is. You know, everything you do the first time is gonna suck. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you try to justify it. Everything you do the first time is gonna be horrible, because that's just, you know, the nature of the game. It took me years to bench press 315. I started weight training when I was 17 years old. I remember my senior year in high school, couldn't even bench press 95 pounds. I was struggling with the fucking bar. You know, I had no muscle definition, no nothing. All this shit that you guys see now is like, you know, 17, 18 years ago, this shit wasn't there. But I kept at it. I kept at it. And this was in September of 2005. And by being barely able to bench press the bar to benching 135 towards the end of my senior year. Figure that's what, June, so September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So let's say roughly 10 months. You know, it took me 10 months to bench press 45 pounds to 135. And I just kept at it. You know, I didn't, you know, if I knew more about nutrition, I probably would have been a lot more along than what I was at that time. But, you know, I was a kid. I was 17 years old, you know, 16, 17 years old. So I didn't really know anything. Still don't know anything. Still learning, you know. But yeah, getting back to the main topic at hand. Relationships, man, they're hard. You know, they're difficult. And I think a lot of people put more effort into them than the other person does. And I'm really big on not doing that, you know, because I think you know, especially if you're committed in a committed relationship and you're pouring into this individual and they're not pouring back into you, or they're pouring very minimal into you, and it's like you can sense that. You can sense when this other person's not giving their all or not fully invested, and it's a shitty feeling, because you're like, yo, like, am I doing something wrong, X, Y, and Z? And the chances are you're not. You know, it's just this individual just isn't rocking with you for whatever reason, and there's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, but knowing when to leave the situation, that's always key. There's always what I call little red flags, you know, whether it's subtle changes in behavior, or just overall just you know, somebody being, you know, just needy. I once had this girl, it's recently, like I was on a dating website, so, you know, I think it was on Bumble, whatever. So I swiped on her, and it was a match. Me and her talking, and it was cool. It was great. You know, conversation was going well. Gave her my phone number, and a bunch of stuff happened in between. You know, whether it was work, whether she wasn't feeling well, whatever it is. So, you know, the particular date that we had chosen, she couldn't go because of whatever reason. So I remember when she called me, and then she made the assumption that she said, well, how come you didn't confirm for whatever day? I was like, well, you said we were gonna play it by ear, And since I didn't hear nothing from you, I figured we was cool, you know, whatever. And which I'm like, yeah, like you said, let's play it by ear, so I'm gonna be like, okay, like you gonna let me know. And she didn't, so I was like, okay, cool, you know, whatever, keep it moving. And a few days later, I mean, she was calling and like pretty much, if not every day, every other day. And I'm not really big on talking on the phone. That's just uberly important. Monday she calls me, and I start work at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm up at like, you know, quarter to 5 a.m. every day. So by the time, you know, by the time 4 or 5 o'clock rolls around, my ass is tired because I've been up all fucking day. So with that being said, she calls me, and then 10 minutes later, she follows that up with a text message saying, I don't know if you got my missed call, but whatever it is, boom, 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 boom. I don't know. No, I didn't get your missed call because I was asleep. Because I was knocked out. And a few days later, you know, she texts me, you know, so we talking, and I wanted to take her out bowling, you know, just for the hell of it. So, yo, like, let's go bowling, you know, because who doesn't have to go bowling, you know? So she's like, okay, cool, you know, well, I have a family party to go to that day, but I'll let you know. I was like, okay, cool. You know what? She's supposed to let me know by the end of the day. So again, you know, spoke to her earlier that day. Didn't reach out after that. So the very next morning, I said, hey, so what's the game plan for tomorrow? You know, are we still going bowling? Cause I need to know. And I was out with a few coworkers, and I get this text message from her. Mind you, I haven't talked to her all day, and then she's like, "Well, you know, I like there is no game plan for tomorrow. I'm not available." Boom, 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 boom. And then she's like, "Well, maybe we can do some, you know, something next week, you know." And then she ends the text message by saying, "Oh, if you think we should invest, you know, if you think we should stop talking and you want to invest time in somebody else and time and energy in somebody else, you know, maybe that's a good thing." And I'm like, okay, whatever. So again, read the text message, but I didn't respond there because I was out, you know, being social. And called her after I left a voice message, didn't get a call back. Very next day, the other time, I didn't hear from so and so. Okay, boom. Send her a text message. Shorty blocked me, you know, and it's like, it just weird shit like that. It's like, you know, it's like, and the whole thing with me, it was just weird because it's like, I thought there was a bunch of red flags that I knew was red flags, but not that I was ignoring them, but at the same time, and it's like calling somebody and then following up with a text message saying, I don't know if I got you, you know, I don't know if you got my phone call. I'm like, of course I got the phone call. I would have picked up if I was available. I wasn't. You know what I mean? So, and I just thought that was fucking needy. Like, who does that, right? You know. That's when I was like, yeah. And this is before I knew that that she blocked me. And I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out. Because if she's acting like this less than a weekend, like, you know, what is she gonna be like in 6 months, a year, whatever it is? Because sometimes you gotta notice the red flags and you gotta move accordingly. Anyway, guys, it's 24 minutes of your life that you won't get back. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Hope y'all keeping it 4-piece. Private player, positive pushing. See y'all next week Sunday. I love y'all. Ghost. And like I always say, know your work because you're better than what you're doing. Peace.